going on YouTube and all my Flix fam? I'm Jay and welcome to Back to the Flix. In this review, I'm rewinding back to 1997, David Fincher's The Game. This is a slick, paranoid ride where control is the addiction and losing it is the point. Have you ever joined a game where you weren't clear on all of the rules and didn't realize until you were in too deep that the game doesn't end when you want it to? It's only done when it's extracted everything from you. And the person you were at the end of the game is entirely different from when you started. I'm going to go scene by scene and let the pressure build exactly how it's supposed to. So grab your popcorn, your snacks, and your drink, and let's get back to the Flix.
Let's take a trip down memory lane. So hop in the whip, let's ride the wave. Destination set where classics were born. So kick up your feet and grab the popcorn. Blockbuster movies that swept the nation. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification.
We meet Nicholas Van Orton, rich, precise, and alone, in a mansion that feels more like a museum than a home. His routine is spotless though, work, security, and silence. But on his birthday, his estranged brother Conrad suddenly shows up with energy that Nicholas doesn't know what to do with. He's the exact yin to his yang. Conrad gives him a gift, a chance to join something called CRS, Consumer Recreation Services, promising a game tailored to his life. Everything around Nicholas is cold, symmetrical, and controlled, like he's a man living in a bubble. Michael Douglas does a great job of portraying a man who's allergic to people and surprises. And Sean Penn's Conrad is like chaos with a grin. He's the walking reminder that Nicholas used to be human. And the funny thing about Conrad's gift to Nicholas is that it's the worst possible present for a control freak. It's all the uncertainty delivered in a card. After very little deliberation, Nicholas visits CRS and gets greeted by friendly professionalism that feels rehearsed. He's put through an invasive intake, forms, interviews, physical tests, psychological questions, even bizarre evaluations that feel unrelated. CRS employees stay calm no matter how weird it gets, and Nicholas keeps trying to treat it like a transaction. His desire to control things won't let him bail out of this process. Even though it's something he can't understand, and you can tell that he's visibly frustrated, he's gonna see it through to the end because he doesn't want to give up the control. These CRS scenes are all about discomfort hiding under a polished product. Everyone seems ultra pleasant but also dismissive, and the testing montage is comedic in how personal it gets. It's like a DMV run by psychologists and they're the ones wearing straitjackets. And the key point is that Nicholas keeps consenting. Because of how ridiculous this is, he can't stand not knowing what's coming next. It's like all those terms and conditions pages we click on. Click and agree instantly because we want access, not realizing that access itself is the trap. Later on, CRS calls Nicholas and tells him that he's been rejected, and he is immediately insulted, embarrassed, but yet a little bit relieved. Nicholas gets home and expects nothing out of the ordinary. His routine of the gates and the security of his home to be waiting for him. Then he spots it, a body like a sick message in the same position that his father was found when he self-deleted. This placement hits Nick hard because it visually echoes the tragedy that shaped his entire life. He freezes for a beat. He moves in carefully, scanning like the house itself might be watching. He turns it over and realizes it's a prop clown. In this moment, he's processing the fact that someone got past everything he trusts, and that the game stops being weird and starts feeling very personal. It's at this point where we can tell the people at CRS don't understand the term pushing things too far. This is one of the coldest and immediate escalations in the movie. Just coming off of being told you weren't accepted for the game, only to come home and roll up on something that reflects directly to Nicholas's origin story. Seeing that body laid out like this is a brutal reminder, but Nicholas doesn't lash out, he locks in. You can see his mind calibrating because he realizes that whoever is doing this knows him intimately and they're using it as a weapon. And although the clown is childish and absurd, it's still very disturbing, like the game is mocking him while crossing the line. Once inside, Nicholas turns on the TV and gets blindsided. There's a news segment framing him as the problem. The anchor's tone is polished and calm, like it's just another story, but Nicholas can feel his credibility slipping away in real time. He reacts the only way he knows how. He tries to correct it. He realizes that not only has the game violated his personal sanctuary, but they're using it as a weapon against him. This is the part where CRS lets Nicholas know that no place is safe, that we are literally everywhere, and the anchor is played perfectly. A neutral face, a monotone voice, and zero empathy. And that's exactly the point they're trying to emphasize. We're not doing this because we hate you. We're doing this because this is just what we do. Nicholas is watching himself become the headline. And the modern parallel should be very obvious. Viral clips, stories with half the context, and people people deciding whether or not you're guilty or innocent before you can even speak. And it's kind of funny because yelling at the television has never gotten us anywhere. Then small coincidences begin piling up. Odd occurrences, unfamiliar faces, and a creeping sense that his normal life is being nudged off its tracks. A waitress, Christine, crosses into his path at the right moments, and Nicholas starts noticing that these random occurrences that he's witnessing don't feel random anymore. The movie does this great thing where nothing really seems out of the ordinary. I mean, most of this stuff could happen to any of us on a normal day, and honestly, that's why it works. This scene is nasty work because it takes Nicholas's empathy and weaponizes it. Nick is trying to do the right thing, and the game punishes him for it, which to be honest makes his paranoia feel earned. And that hospital reveal is insane, like something you lived through that you knew was reality and realized at a split second that it was all staged. And Christine is so crucial right here, because if she was in on it, she would have to be doing an Oscar level performance. The game keeps pushing Nicholas into full survival mode. He's chased, manipulated, and driven towards choices that feel irreversible. He lashes out, making decisions that he can't take back, and reaches a point where he believes the only way to end it is to confront the source directly. His world narrows into one goal: stop the game, even if he has to destroy the board to do it. Nicholas is all strategy and suspicion, and Christine is all practicality and nerves. And the movie does a good job at making us feel like there's no point in time where they're not under surveillance. And the biggest unspoken detail is that Nicholas is now learning how to survive without being Mr. Van Orton. He's being forced into a variety of human level problems. What was first highly annoying is now very humbling. Once they're on the run, the dynamic flips. Nicholas stops being the guy that's giving the orders and starts needing her. And by the time they land back at the office, that adrenaline becomes chemistry. Two people close enough to feel each other's breath, still unsure if they're safe, and suddenly aware of each other in a way that's not just fear-based. Nicholas keeps searching for the real threat, but the more he pushes, the more the world seems designed to corner him emotionally as much as physically. Nicholas goes back to CRS demanding answers, but the building is empty and unhelpful, like the company can disappear on command. He tries to track down employees and proof, but every lead bends away from him. And this is where the movie's tension turns physical. CRS has been trying to take the control away from Nicholas scene by scene, but now in this one, it seems like they might be gunning for his life. The world that used to cater to Mr. Van Orton doesn't give a dang about Nicholas, and each beat of the movie feels like the door he just walked through slamming behind him, pushing him to abandon logic and make more and more emotional decisions. Christine reappears as a possible ally, but Nicholas can't tell if she's a lifeline or another layer of the game. The pressure turns his caution into desperation. Nicholas's systems start failing, his bank accounts, any private access that he has, and his reputation. People look at him like he's lying. His unusual safety nets don't catch him, and his trusted network becomes unreliable. We're watching Nicholas, a guy who can literally buy certainty at any level, realizing that he can't buy the context. And Christine's character is key here. She feels more like a person and not a clue, which is what makes her presence a little bit too slippery to actually get a good hold on. And Michael Douglas sells the confusion with his slow shifts, from annoyed to suspicious to straight up shook, like he's center stage and he doesn't realize that who's another character and who's the audience. With every step, the things get a little more dark, and Nicholas's perfect environment becomes a playground for disrespect. There's literally a violation at every level. It's like someone literally hacking your life and taking away all of your safety nets. Your passwords are the people closest to you, which honestly is a huge fear in today's day and age. Getting your cell phone or your computer hacked? Imagine if someone was not only capable of taking that away from you, but also hacking your life. Nicholas reaches the final confrontation at the rooftop where everything feels like it's coming to a head. The betrayals and the realizations that at this moment everything has come to the end of the line. Then the movie pulls the curtain back. The game has been engineered around him, tied to Conrad, and designed to force Nicholas to face what he's become. This revelation lands less like a victory and more like a release. In that scene where Nicholas walks into the cafeteria and realizes how many people were in on this, you can tell that the expression on his face is, oh, I'm taking everybody down. And the key here is, don't really get concerned and how did they manage all of this? The game just wants us to know that it happened and sit right in the mess, right next to Nicholas. Nicholas staggers up to the rooftop like a man running on fumes. Dirty suit, wild eyes, nothing left to bargain with. He confronts Conrad and it feels like the final betrayal. The one person he thought might be real, standing there like a punchline. Nicholas is cornered by every loss, his money, his identity, and all the trust. And the city below looks like the only exit. He steps back, shaking, then makes a choice that isn't strategic anymore. It's emotional. He steps off. The glass breaks, and instead of an ending, it's a reveal. The lights come up and people rush in, and the whole space transforms from tragedy to staged rescue. Nicholas is alive, surrounded, and suddenly forced to feel everything at once. moments, his rage, his shock and relief. And when Conrad reaches him, Nicholas doesn't just win, he finally cracks, like a man waking up into a life he forgot he could have. And that's 1997's The Game. Nicholas Van Orton starts off as a man that's sealed off completely from life and ends up as somebody cracked wide open, shaken, angry, and weirdly grateful. And his brother Conrad wasn't just used as a plot device. He was Nicholas's emotional anchor and probably the only other person on the planet who understands Nicholas's damage from the inside. And that final movie sequence can probably be seen as letting go, breaking through, and hitting rock bottom, showing everyone in your life who you really are and allowing the people who really know and love you in. So I've got a question for the Flix fan. Would you sign up with CRS if it promised to change your life? Or are you a hard no as soon as things start to get a little weird? And now that you've seen this review, what's the first part that made you realize, oh nah, this is more than just a prank? Go ahead and drop it in the comment because I would love to see where everybody's hard line is. And if you've enjoyed this one, do me a favor. Hit the like so YouTube knows that the Flix fam is active. Subscribe if you're new here and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss the next drop. And if you know of somebody who loves 80s and 90s movies, send this to them and see if they would take part in the game. Until then, I'm Jay, and I'll see you the next time when we get back to the Flix.
We're going back to the flicks, rewind the mix. 80s flicks, family ties in the Netflix fix. Reliving those days with the little ones amazed in this retro wave. Old classics paved the way. Back to the flicks, rewind the mix. 80s flicks, family ties in the Netflix fix. Reliving those days with the little ones amazed in this retro wave. Old classics paved the way.